You know the pitch, right? The one that promises to make all your big, scary tech costs smooth, simple, and predictable? Well, today we're digging into virtualization subscriptions to find out what's really going on with the money. We're going to uncover the hidden financial traps that vendors, well, they'd probably rather you didn't see. Let's get into it.
All right, just a quick heads up before we really dive deep. What you're about to see is part 5 of a much larger 10-part overview. It's all based on a comprehensive research report called Virtualization Subscriptions, Hostage or Autonomy in Data Centers. Now, obviously, we're just scratching the surface here, and this is absolutely not legal advice, and it doesn't come with any kind of warranty. Okay, with that out of the way, let's get to the good stuff. Here it is, the promise. If you're a CIO, a CFO, or anyone who manages a budget, you have heard this 1,000 times. The dream of turning those huge, lumpy capital expenses into a nice, smooth, predictable operational cost. It sounds amazing, right? But is it really what it seems?
That is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Or maybe the multi-million-dollar question. What is the true cost when you look at the big picture over the long haul?
So let's start with that OpEx promise. I mean, the appeal is obvious. Simplicity, flexibility, who wouldn't want that? But we're going to see that underneath that smooth surface, there are some pretty serious financial tripwires waiting. Okay, now we're getting to the heart of it, the hidden costs. We're about to put some real numbers on the screen, the kind of numbers that, they tend to leave out of the glossy brochures and the sales pitches. Okay, get ready for this, because it's a shocker. Over a pretty standard 5 to 7 year lifespan for your infrastructure, that simple subscription can end up costing you 3 to 5 times more than a traditional perpetual license. Yeah, you heard me right. 3 to 5 times. That little bit of savings you see up front, it's basically an illusion designed to get you hooked before the real costs start to pile up. So you might be asking, how in the world do the costs get that high? Well, a huge part of it is the annual price hikes on your renewals. We're talking 15 to 25% a year. Now, that is way beyond a simple adjustment for inflation. It's a built-in cost escalator. So much for those predictable costs they promised, huh? This is exactly how budgets get blown to pieces. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, it does. Let's talk about the feature premium tax. This is a sneaky one. This is where vendors start unbundling their software and then charge you a 40% premium, or even more, for advanced features that, frankly, used to be part of the standard package. Just think about that. You are paying a lot more money just to get back the functionality you already had. This table here really breaks down the vendor playbook. That feature gating is what we just talked about. Then you've got premium support tiers, where suddenly the basic support you get is useless, which forces you to double or even triple what you're paying just to get a real person on the line who can actually help. Forced upgrade cycles make your perfectly good software obsolete, creating huge, unplanned expenses. And goodness, if a billing mix-up causes a service interruption, the cost to your business to get back online can be absolutely astronomical. It's a total minefield. So you think you own your hardware, right? Well, maybe not in the way that matters. This brings us to a really critical idea, the illusion of ownership. It's this weird situation where you might own the physical blocks, but you're just renting the brains that make it work. This slide just nails the problem perfectly. Look on the left. You own millions of dollars in physical assets, servers, storage, the whole data center. But on the right, you're just renting the critical software that makes any of it useful. That hypervisor, the management tools, you're essentially renting the permission to even use the hardware you already own. It's wild. It's like owning a house, but having to pay rent every month for the front door key. And here's the bottom line. It means your multi-million-dollar assets are effectively being held hostage. The second you stop paying that subscription fee, all of that expensive hardware, it becomes a pile of very, very expensive paperweights. That's a massive business risk you can't just ignore. Here's probably the best way to think about it. You bought the car. It's yours. It's sitting in your driveway, title in hand. But the subscription, that's the key. And you have to pay the car company every single month, or they remotely disable the ignition. That's the power dynamic we're dealing with here. So let's zoom out. What does this all mean for your company's financial health in the long run? We're not just talking about a line item on a budget anymore. This is a fundamental change to the entire financial strategy of your company. Think about it like this. A capital expense is like a mortgage on a house. It's a big payment, but eventually you pay it off and you own it free and clear. A subscription, on the other hand, is like rent. You pay it forever, and the landlord can raise the price whenever they feel like it. This creates a permanent drain on your budget, an anchor that weighs you down and makes it so much harder to invest in new ideas or react when the market suddenly changes. So, I'll just leave you with this final question to think about. When you look at your data center, is it truly an asset that's driving your business forward? Or has it accidentally become a permanent liability that's actually holding you back? It might be time to take a really hard look at your virtualization strategy and decide if you're the one in control or if someone else is.